Hello and welcome back to the second channel. It's been a while, I know, but I've been busy. I mean, not really busy with RuneScape, but busy with everything going on. And one of those things is RuneScape related. It is the Quest Cape speedrun. This video is going to be a bit of a review, behind the scenes type thing of the Quest Cape speedrun. How much did it cost? The ups and downs, how quick could you actually go? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about and you've stumbled across this video at random, or you haven't finished the series, I've now finished the Quest Cape speedrun series. It's 5 videos on the SoloMission channel. I go from Tutorial Island to the Quest Cape in world record time of 3 days. So crazy stuff, lots of crazy methods, lots of fun. It's about an hour. Go check it out. So the main inspiration for the series was I've been watching a lot of other speedruns, most notably the Max Cape speedrun by Hibox Younger and JCW, and then also the Grandmaster speedrun by A Cold One. Now these are very good series. I would recommend checking them out. And it was up my street. This is the sort of content I wanted to make. It pushes me as a player, so I thought it's super interesting. I wish I'd thought of doing that. I wasn't going to go and try and do it better than them because they were all doing an amazing job. So I was sort of racking my brain like, what can I do? And I was actually talking to my mum about it, saying that I wanted to do a similar sort of speed run, but I just wasn't really sure about the end goal. And she said the Quest Cape. And initially, I sort of was a bit hesitant because immediately I was like, well, everyone's seen Quest, everyone knows what happens in Quest. How interesting can you really make a Quest Cape speedrun? But then I started to plan it, and the thing is, I could just cut out all the uninteresting parts of the normal RuneScape journey that literally everyone has done. Like, everyone's done Cook's Assistant, you know what I mean? On all these quests, they don't change. Now, one of my other concerns with Quest Cape, and why I initially just dismissed it in my mind, was because it just sounds like Quest speedrunning, and we all know how popular Quest speedrunning is. not very. So I was worried about that, and that's what I was trying to avoid in the branding. I didn't want to have Quest speedrunning in the titles and stuff like that because I was concerned that people would just think it was actual Quest speedrunning, like the Quest speedrun was, and be turned off by it. So I don't know. I think I did a reasonable job of avoiding being tarred with that brush. All right, enough about talking about YouTube. I always devolve into that. How much did the Quest Cape speedrun actually cost me? Now, it's hard to gauge it because I wasn't keeping track the whole time. But going back through the videos and having a look, I think it's around 300 mil, but it feels like it's more. I don't know. The bank on my main has gone down so much more than 300 mil. Maybe gear's just gone down in general, but a lot of this cost is for dumb things like gold sync 100 mil. That's quite a lot of money to spend on 11,000 construction XP, but it's for the content. And then rune crafting was 40 mil. I paid 4 runners 10 mil an hour each. And I paid a guy to Lord Dust Devils 20 mil. So most of the cost was from service type activities and silly spending. I could obviously have made the speedrun more expensive by doing gold syncs. I say that in the videos. And that would have cost me 6 bill. Definitely not worth it. I would have saved half an hour, but you know, that's a lot of money to be spending. And then also I messed up and I didn't use org bones when I was doing prayer, which I believe is about 100 mil. So yeah. All right, next question. What was your favorite quest / method on the speedrun? I don't actually have questions. I'm just talking to myself here, making things up. But my favorite quest was Observatory. And the reason why is because at the beginning, I was bolt enchanting every tick. And Observatory just felt so good to do because I was gaining tons and tons and tons of mage XP, some really long runs, and all the levels were super meaningful back then because I was trying to get to 50 mage. As for the best method, I think figuring out doing Worldy Slayer was really fun because obviously no one's done Worldy Slayer like that before. Barraging NPCs like bandits, rogues, stuff like that. Dark Warriors were in crazy XP an hour doing what I was doing. So I had a lot of fun figuring out the methods for Worldy Slayer. And to be honest, that's something that could be sped up. Now I know what I know, I could start off Worldy Slayer going super quickly because you know, there are a little bit of there's a little bit of time taken to figure out the best methods. That's true for a lot of the skilling methods in the speedrun actually, because I've never really 3-tick mined too much. I've never really 1.5-tick woodcutting. I haven't done that too much. I'm not at the level of a pro skiller maybe I'm 95% of the way there. So there's time that could have been saved on some of the skilling at times. What about least favorite quest or method? I'd say least favorite quest, Wanted, was terrible because there are so many unskippable cutscenes. It feels like, what the hell can I do? I'm just waiting for the dialogue to process slowly. You're not even spacebarring through, so the pace is super slow. When you're trying to speedrun, that felt like a gigantic waste of time. So that wasn't great. Monkey Madness 2 wasn't great as well because I died twice. Somehow, even though I've done that quest about 10 times, that was ridiculous. Yeah, shocking display for me there. As for least favourite method, I don't know really, because one thing I really liked about the series is I was only ever doing something for a couple of hours, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. And a lot of the time I was learning a lot of new things, which is very interesting and exciting. That's what's fun for me about the game. But the least favourite, I felt kind of bad when I was doing runecrafting because I just felt like I was terrible at it. I got like 230k an hour when you can actually get like 290k an hour. And that's because I was fumbling the trades. Magic in view wasn't going off and stuff. So I just felt bad for my runners that I was just doing I was doing a terrible job. And that just, yeah, I didn't enjoy that as much because there wasn't a consistent rhythm I was getting in because I was bad at the game. Another question I often get is why not Iron Man mode? Now, why Iron Man mode? It's been done a million times on YouTube and people are generally quite efficient. So I don't think it'd be that interesting to watch, and that's why I will not be doing Iron Man mode Questcape speedrun. In this series, I constantly went on about Desert Treasure 2, but how much time would that actually add on? It's interesting to have a look here. 75 fire making, that's about 3 hours. 70 thieving, that's about 3 hours as well. 64 to 70, 66 to 75. And then there's 60 rune crafting, which is about another 30 minutes. So if you add in another hour for the quest, that's about 7 extra hours if Desert Treasure 2 came out, which would have been bad. I got 86 hours. 93 doesn't sound quite as good. And I think Desert Treasure 2 is the reason why no one will ever beat my speedrun. I mean, I don't think anyone else is going to be going for this type of speedrun other than YouTubers and stuff. Yeah, because an extra 7 hours, I probably could have saved around 5 hours if I was super duper efficient. If I did more Tears of Gothics, logging out and just getting XP on my lowest stat. If I planned better and wove even more steps of quests together, that could have saved some hours. But other than that, maybe you spend some more money, do gold sinks, do crazy stuff, do 1 birdhouse run. 1 birdhouse per run rather than 3 for the first half of birdhouses. That would have saved another 20 minutes. Overall, I'm really happy with how the series went because it's actually pushed me as a RuneScape player for once. A lot of the time, you know, you're just making content for the sake of content, but this actually required me engaging my brain and thinking through every little step and detail, especially in the early days. That was the most fun with the bolt enchanting, constantly doing things and threading things together. From the YouTube side of things, I was really happy with the first 3 videos. They were slow to start, but then they really picked up. A little interesting fact, this second video here actually got view botted for over 100,000 views, and it was on like 370k views at one point. And I was like, oh my god, it's popping off my series. But yeah, it was a view bot, which was really weird because I don't know why anyone's done that. And I could tell in the analytics, and they did get removed. So YouTube is very good at removing botted views, which is nice to see, honestly. But yeah, these 3 were great. And then one thing which just killed my momentum completely was I went on holiday for 2 weeks and then another week. So three weeks of effectively 3 holidays in 4 weeks, and with weddings and funerals and a bunch of other stuff. So I was super busy, which drew out the end of the series. I was being quite ambitious and I was trying to get it all done before my real life stuff kicked in, but I just couldn't manage it, unfortunately, and paid the price here on YouTube. I mean, a lot of big YouTubers' views for RuneScape are down in the past few weeks, so can't cry too hard. But if you haven't watched the final video, go click on it, bro. Give me that view. As for the future of the speedrun account, I'm going to keep it logged out so it has a very nice time with that quest cape, because one day I might want to go and re-obtain the quest cape in a special bonus episode. Or I also had the idea of doing a most progressed 1 week in RuneScape. So and the goal would be to get all the untradables that you can wear, like Infernal Cape, Avers, MA2 Cape, and then get the stats so that you could wear every item in the game. So that would be 90 strength for Scythe, 82 attack for Fang, 85 range for T-Bow, 85 mage for Shadow, all that sort of stuff. But I was going to show the interesting stuff at the back with those training methods. It all got nerfed, so I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to save it for future quest activities. We'll see.